China wraps up punishment war games around Taiwan. Rescuers race to villagers trapped by Papua New Guinea landslide. China, Japan, and South Korea start their first summit since 2019. Israel faces unprecedented legal and diplomatic pressure. 4.4 magnitude quake in southern Italy. Kabosu, the dog behind the Doge internet meme, has died.
Hello, I'm Johnny. Thank you for joining us on Funday News. It's Monday, May 27th, and here are your top stories. China ended 2 days of war games around Taiwan, in which it simulated attacks with bombers and practice boarding ships, and Taiwan's defense ministry detailed on Saturday the surge of Chinese warplanes and warships involved. Chinese state television's military channels said the drills had concluded late Friday. As previously announced, a commentary in the official People's Liberation Army daily said they lasted 2 days from Thursday to Friday. China's defense ministry did not answer calls seeking comment on Saturday.
China, which claims democratically governed Taiwan as its own territory, launched the Joint Sword 2024A exercises 3 days after Lai Ching-te became Taiwan's president, a man Beijing says is a separatist. Beijing said the exercises were punishment for Lai's Monday inauguration speech, in which he said the two sides of the Taiwan Strait were not subordinate to each other, which China viewed as a declaration the two are separate countries. Lai has repeatedly offered talks with China but has been rebuffed. He says only Taiwan's people can decide their future and rejects Beijing's sovereignty claims. Taiwan's government has condemned the drills and said it will not be cowed by Chinese pressure.
The International Organization for Migration on Sunday increased its estimate of the death toll from a massive landslide in Papua New Guinea to more than 670 as emergency responders and traumatized relatives gave up hope that any survivors would now be found. Sarhan Ektoprak, the chief of the UN Migration Agency's mission in the South Pacific island nation, said the revised death toll was based on calculations by Yambali village and Enga provincial officials that Friday's landslide had buried more than 150 homes. The previous estimate had been 60 homes.
Relief crews were moving survivors to safer ground on Sunday as tons of unstable earth and tribal warfare, which is rife in the Papua New Guinea highlands, threatened the rescue effort. The national government, meanwhile, is considering whether it needs to request more international support officially. Crews have given up hope of finding survivors under the earth and rubble 6 to 8 meters deep. Government authorities were establishing evacuation centers on safer ground on either side of the massive swath of debris that covers an area the size of 3 to 4 football fields and has cut the main highway through the province. Papua New Guinea is a diverse, developing nation with 800 languages and 10 million people who are mostly subsistence farmers.
China called for South Korea's help to maintain stable supply chains as the countries began their first three-way summit with Japan since 2019, with Tokyo and Seoul putting pressure on Beijing by drawing closer to the U.S. on security and industrial policies. Chinese Premier Li Qiang and Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida arrived in the South Korean capital Sunday and met separately with President Yoon Suk-yeol. Bilateral discussions were held between Japan and China, and a dinner for all three will follow. The formal summit is set for Monday, and a session with business leaders will come after that.
According to a pool report, in the first bilateral meeting of the day, Li told Yoon that China wants the two to be trustworthy neighbors and partners helping the other to thrive. Chinese state media Xinhua cited Li as telling Yoon that both sides should avoid turning economic issues into political issues and maintain stable and smooth supply chains. Yoon said he hopes both countries can strengthen exchanges. Summits among the three countries that account for about a quarter of the world's gross domestic product have been on hold for nearly 5 years due to the pandemic and political rancor. South Korean officials said the summit will cover 6 areas of cooperation that include sustainable development, people-to-people exchanges, as well as economy and trade. Japan and South Korea have both sought Beijing's help to use its economic might to rein in North Korea's atomic ambitions.
It's been a tumultuous month for Israel. Never before has the Jewish state come under such intense and sustained international pressure from multiple fronts for its policies toward the Palestinians. This week, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu joined the ranks of world leaders branded as international pariahs when he became the target of the International Criminal Court, whose prosecutor is seeking an arrest warrant against him and his defense minister, Yoav Gallant, for suspicion of war crimes and crimes against humanity during Israel's war in Gaza.
On Friday, the International Court of Justice, ICJ, ordered Israel to immediately halt its controversial military operation in the southern Gaza city of Rafah, saying the humanitarian situation there is disastrous and expected to intensify further. 7 months after Hamas attacked Israel, killing around 1,200 people and taking 250 hostages, Israel's retaliatory war has failed to achieve its goals. Top Hamas leaders remain at large and 125 hostages remain captive in the enclave. Gaza is now in ruins and more than 35,000 Palestinians have died during Israel's onslaught. Pressure on Israel to end the war is mounting from all sides. U.S. college campuses, international courts, American celebrities, Israel's Western allies, and even the families of the Israeli hostages.
According to Italy's National Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, a 4.4 magnitude earthquake struck Italy's Campi Flegrei supervolcano Monday evening, causing mild damage in the town of Pozzuoli, the epicenter, and as far away as the city of Naples, some 20 kilometers away. Cracks in walls and falling cornices were reported. The 4.4 earthquake at a depth of 3 kilometers is the strongest earthquake to hit the highly seismic area in the past 40 years. The quake is part of an ongoing seismic storm that has seen more than a dozen events over 2.0 magnitude in the past 48 hours.
The 4.4 trembler at 8:10 p.m. local time was preceded by a 3.5 earthquake an hour earlier. The INGV recorded 1,252 earthquakes in the Campi Flegrei area in April 2024, most with a magnitude less than 1.0. The last major eruption of the supervolcano was in 1538, which resulted in the creation of a new bay on the southern Italian coast. According to several volcanologists, the INGV has noted an increase in seismic activity since 2022, which could be due to the building up of magma under the surface or the building up of gases. The volcano is about 50 kilometers from Mount Vesuvius and is prone to a phenomenon known as bradyseism, during which the ground rises and falls due to pressure under the surface. The last major cycle was in 1984, but several volcanologists told CNN that the area is experiencing a new cycle of the phenomenon.
Kabosu, the Shiba Inu dog whose quizzical expressions start in an array of Doge internet memes, has died. A picture of Kabosu with a slight side-eye look went viral around 2013 on Tumblr and various online chat rooms before it became known as Doge, one of the most iconic and recognized images of the social web era. The dog's owner, Atsuko Sato, a kindergarten teacher from Sakura in Chiba Prefecture, Japan, confirmed the news in a poignant poem on her blog on Friday. She wrote, "At 7:50 a.m., I fell into a deep sleep." Sato said she would hold a farewell party for Kabosu on Sunday.
Kabosu's face has been featured in countless social posts and even became the face of a cryptocurrency. A non-fungible token, NFT, of the image was sold in 2021 for $4 million. Dogecoin paid tribute to the dog on X, saying she was a being who knew only happiness and limitless love. The image was shared online, often with colorful captions in the Comic Sans font expressing faux amazement, usually including, "Wow," "Amaze," and broken English such as, "So frost," "Much cold," intended to be seen as the dog's internal monologue. People would adapt the meme to comment on world events and pop culture news and even to attack political rivals. Kabosu was diagnosed with leukemia and liver disease in 2020. Sato told the AFP in our sent interview that the invisible power of prayers from internet fans had helped her pull through.
The answer for last Friday is B, subordinate. 60 of his subordinate officers follow his example. Did you answer correctly? Now let's delve into the news of rescuers race to villagers trapped by Papua New Guinea landslide. Number 1, traumatized. 是受精神创伤. Many are separated from their families and injured, and many are traumatized. Number 2, debris, 残骸碎片破片. Emergency teams are still clearing the debris from the plane crash. Number 3, rife, 坏事盛行普遍的. Rumors are rife that he is going to resign. Next, we have a multiple choice question for everyone to practice. Which answer would you choose? You can write your answer in the comment section. The correct answer will be announced tomorrow. And that's all for today's Funday News. Be sure to tune in to Funday News from Monday to Friday and click the link below to join Funday for free. I'm Johnny Wu, your host. I will see you next time.